Hey friends, welcome back to the Happy Homestead. I'm Amanda, and today I'm on our homestead property. I know we're well into 2023, about 3 weeks in now, but I really wanted to just kind of take a moment and talk about intentions and goals for this year. I think it's important to make, I don't know that I'm a big fan of resolutions, right? But I think it's important to have goals to consistently be striving towards and to have intentions. You may not always meet them, but to have something to work for, right? If you don't have any direction, you don't have a goal in mind, you don't have something at the end that you are trying to accomplish, what are you doing every day? Right? That's just how I feel about it, certainly for myself. And so I wanted to do this today because I think for my own accountability, it's important. And guys, a lot of what I'm doing with these videos is certainly for my own enjoyment. I get so much pleasure out of sharing our homestead journey, sharing what we do in the kitchen, sharing what we do in the gardens with you. I do. I really do. This is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job. I do this because it is pure enjoyment for me. There is another part of that though, which is for my children. I often think that as they get older, they'll be able to look back on these videos, hopefully. Hopefully YouTube will still be a thing. And they'll be able to see all that Mom did and how much she loved them and all that she did for them. But also to set an example of someone who's constantly learning and striving for new things. So yeah, so I wanted to do this for me, for you, for them. So I'm here today, which is a little bit different from what the latest videos have been. Normally they're in my kitchen. It's about 53 degrees. It's sunny. It is a bit windy. I'm recovering from a cold. I'm feeling a lot better, but I do have my Murray McMurray hatchery hat on because it is a little chilly still for me. But I'm sitting here at our fire pit. The gardens are behind me. The beehives right there are behind me. And it's just a really wonderful day to kind of be outside and think about the intentions and the goals for 2023. So let's get to it. I have a lot of big goals this year. And I've written them down on both paper and on my phone. So I'm just going to kind of categorize them a bit and start through them. I think, let me start with the more like be a better person goals. And I'll just read through it. One is be more present and a more mindful parent. I think if you're a parent, no matter what age your children are, you know that you just sometimes get into these ruts where it's just the daily routine, right? Trying to get them to school, get them fed, get them home, get them bathed, get them in bed, get them to the next thing. And if you don't catch yourself, you can easily get into a rut where you're finding no joy for you or them. And you're not maybe present in those moments. And I have found myself in those places, that place, a lot. So my first one is be more present and mindful parent. Nextly, just as equally important, if not more important, is be a more godly wife, supportive and encouraging. I'm hard on myself, and so I think that definitely translates to me being harder on those around me, and that's not fair to them, to him, to my husband. So I don't know if he'll watch this video or not, but that is one of my goals, is to be a more godly wife. Okay, those are the two like overall existential kind of big ones to be a better person. Let's move on to lifestyle. So I would say I really liked how I felt during Whole30, and I'm going to do Whole30 again in March. But one of the things I liked about it was the no alcohol, and I don't drink alcohol that often. I really don't. But having no alcohol during those 30 days, I really felt like made a difference in just everything. And so my goal was to limit the alcohol. I think I said no more than 2 times a month. That doesn't mean 2 drinks a month. I can have more than 2 drinks, but 2 iterations, right? 2 times. Now, it doesn't mean drink a whole bottle 2 times a month, right? There's got to be some limits in there. But I really like the idea of just kind of keeping that regulated. And when I do drink it, it's going to be dry farm wines. Now, you guys have probably heard me talk about dry farm wines, but I'm a huge believer in them. I love their product. I love what they stand for. And there's a link down below in the show notes where you can learn all about them. And if you decide to click the link and order, I would appreciate it. It helps me. But I really am a huge believer in their product and prefer to only drink dry farm wines. So that's the alcohol thing. Eat real food. And now we've been doing this through the 3 Rivers Challenge, right, this winter. And I love it. It's work, absolutely. But eating real food makes a difference in how you feel. No processed junk. And when I say junk, I know that can be construed different ways, right? It can be like a Twinkie. Sure, that's junk. But you know what is also processed junk? Are Nutrigrain bars. Like, think about it. There's not that much difference. So I need you to kind of maybe even expand your own realm of what you call processed or junk food. Because I incorporate junk food with anything processed, manufactured. Are there exceptions? Sure. But I have pretty stringent lines on, what's considered and what's not. So eat real food is another one of them. Oh wait, there were 2 more that go back to the larger, overall, bigger picture one, and that was pray as a family. We pray every day at dinner. We say grace as a family together, and then we pray at night with our children. But I'd like to pray more as a family and spend quality time every day with my family. Again, that goes back to those daily routines and those hectic days, right? Just trying to find some moments, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just slow down and spend quality time with everybody. Oh, this is also an existential one. I missed this one earlier. Foster a positive attitude inward and outward. I think this is something that could apply just about anybody. I don't consider myself a negative person. However, we all, again, get in those mindsets from time to time. And I want to be more aware that I snap myself out as much as I can when I can and not let that spread. My son said something in the car the other day that was so meaningful, and he got it from one of his Dog Man books. He loves the Dog Man comic books, and it was, hate has created a lot of problems and not solved one. Love has created some problems but also solves most. And I thought that was really poignant for an 8-year-old to say and to understand. So yeah, inward and outward, positive attitude, because positivity breeds positivity. Oh, okay, back to the well-being health ones. Drastically limit the processed sugar. Again, a result from Whole30, I loved not eating sugar. I loved it. And even now that I've been off Whole30 for about 2 or 2.5 weeks, I haven't really had a lot of sugar. I haven't even had any alcohol, I don't think. And I certainly haven't eaten any sweets because we don't have it in the house. And if we do, I make it, but even then it's lower sugar too. So I really like that. Limiting sugar to no more than 2 times a month, right? I think that just makes a huge difference overall in how we feel and how we go about our day. Okay, so now probably to some of the fun intentions and goals of the year, which involve our homestead property. So in just a few days, it will be 4 years, the anniversary, a 4-year anniversary that we purchased this property. It is about 10 acres, and there is obviously a cleared portion here that we cleared. So we've done a lot of work over the last 4 years. It really was all woods, the kind of woods that you see over here is really what this all was behind me. We've done a lot of work. We've had friends help. We've hired people, and we're happy with where it's at right now. But the 4-year anniversary is coming up, which is a really big deal and exciting big deal, because when we purchased this, my husband and I agreed we had a 3 to 5 year goal, and that 3 to 5 year goal was to build a home and live here and have this be our farm and this be our permanent forever home. Right now we're about 35 minutes away from this property, so we come up here certainly in the summer seasons. I try to come up 2 to 3 times a week as my schedule permits, but in the winters it's a little less. But we come up here fairly often and spend time here, work in the gardens, you know, just play in the woods, and we're very excited to make this our home someday soon. So the other big goal of 2023 is to break ground. I haven't talked too much about that because it has always felt like this thing so far in the future. It has always felt like it's never going to happen. And those closest to me know that I've said that. It just feels like a pipe dream. It just feels like it's never going to happen. You know, with COVID happening and just, you know, so much market instability, and then building prices rising. I mean, yeah, house prices were rising too, so you could sell your house at a premium, but building prices were skyrocketing out the roof too. And so we just found ourselves in this place where it's like, when is this going to happen? We tried last year. We tried in 2022, and it didn't work for various reasons. So fingers crossed that 2023 is the year that we break ground. Now, even though we may break ground this year, it doesn't mean we're moving this year. It's going to be a long process to get everything done. Even in order for us to break ground, we have to like clear out all our stuff. Like I said, I got a fire pit here, and we want to save these rocks. We got to move everything. We got to move the beehives. There's a lot that has to be done even to get to that point. So the next goal would be for the property is to expand our garden. Our garden is right back here, and I'm happy with what happened last year, like what we got out of it. It was our first time really having a big garden here, and without water. If you've been following along, you know that I had to haul water out here at least once, sometimes twice a week, depending upon the rain. So to have been able to grow everything that we did out here, huge success. Very proud of that. But I want to change things up a little bit this year. So the weeds were the biggest problem last year. I thought for sure I'd be on top of them, but oh my goodness, it was insane. So I'm trying something new this year. I had gone back and forth. Originally I thought, you know, I'll just till, get some soil brought in, and do some wood chips. And then I changed my mind. I've been reading Charles Dowding's No Dig book, and I'm very familiar with the no dig method, or like the back to Eden method. But I don't know why I hadn't considered that. So that's what I'm doing. I gotta change my mind. We're not tilling anything. I am saving all of the cardboard I possibly can right now. And when I have enough, and we're ready to devote some time as a family to this, we're gonna lay cardboard out over everything. You know what? Let's just go to the garden and let me show you. Okay, so you can actually see we got a Christmas tree box out here already. I guess my husband brought out for some cardboard. But we're gonna expand this too. So I'm gonna actually make the garden come this way towards the camera more, make it a little bit wider. But we're going to cover this all in cardboard. And then 1 week from today, I have 12 yards being delivered of a compost topsoil mixture. Pretty excited about that. Hoping they can dump it like right here, and then we can just use our tractor and our manpower to spread the compost the compost mixture over the cardboard. And then I'm signed up for chip drop. I've been signed up for chip drop for 2 years and have never gotten it. So what I did is I actually contacted some local tree service companies and just said, look, can you just dump them when you have them? And so hoping that pans out. And so then we'll cover the soil with wood chips. Now, I'm hoping the 12 yards is enough to cover a minimum 3 inches over the cardboard. If I can go higher, I will, but we'll see. Because I'm talking like past this tunnel here, kind of where I was growing my onions at the end of the fence. And then we're coming out a little bit. And it's basically, I know the shadow's in the way here, it's basically going to cover all of this. So hopefully that 12 yards is enough. And then the wood chips we're going to put on top of the soil to help retain moisture, right, for watering and so forth. So I'm not, because this is really clay-like soil. I don't want to till this. I don't want to get more weed seeds. I just want to drown the weeds with the cardboard, the soil, and the wood chips and see if that helps. So we actually have to take out all of these T-posts, all of these supports that I put in last year by myself. But it'll be for a good reason, because I think if I were just leave them here and then pile up, it's actually going to make my T-posts and everything just a little bit smaller, right, where my plants will just get too tall. So we're going to take it all out, just make it easy, and then we'll start over with, you know, where we're going to put the supports, and we're going to make the tunnel longer and be able to grow so much more. And I don't know if you can see this in the sunlight, but there are some onions growing right here. And I've got a good probably 10 to 12 onions growing here that I guess never got picked. So they got missed. So before we cover this, I'm going to get these onions. Now granted, they'll only be like little green onions. They won't be big bulbs, but still, got to get them before we cover them up. Now the bees are alive. I'm very excited about that, very pleased with that. So we'll be able to harvest a lot of honey this year. But I see activity from all 3 hives. I would say the middle hive is probably the one that, if it's so-so, it's that one. And that's the one that I bought a nuke last year from. But the 2 end ones are the original that I had split either last year or the year before. And the one furthest from me is the angry one. So some of y'all aren't going to like this, but I did not go to extraordinary measures this winter to keep them alive. I didn't give them fondant or bee pollen. I mean, I did the things that you should do, right, to kind of overwinter your bees. But I did not go to extraordinary measures like I have in the past for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I don't want to breed dependent bees on me. I want them to be very self-sufficient. I want them to learn how to survive and forage and build up their stores without depending on food being given to them. And number 2, if the angry hive died, well, I know some of you aren't going to like that, but it was kind of like, you know, I don't want to breed that kind of genetics, but I'm not that lucky. They are alive and doing well. The other goal, the sun is like smacking my face right now, but the other goal for this year, along with the gardens, we got to move the beehives, like I said, in order for us to break ground. Kind of where I'm standing is really where the house will go. These trees in pots, this is the orchard, and we have designated part of the front of the house where we will have our orchard and our asparagus beds, blackberry vines, hopefully a tunnel of grapevines, you know, all kinds of like berries and fruits, and the trees, the fruit trees. So this is, you know, everyone says you wanted to plant your tree, what is it, yesterday or a year ago, you want to get your trees established. So I bought these fruit trees from Stark Brothers. Some of them are 4 years ago, and some of them are more like 3 or 2 years ago. I kind of staggered. And they're all doing well with the exception of one. I think it's, oh no, that one over there is dead as a doornail. This one right here. If you can, oh no, you can't see that. They're all doing very well except one. One did die this winter. And that is exactly why I buy through Stark, because I contacted Stark. I let them know, I showed them pictures. You know, you take a clipping and if it's not green inside, it's most likely dead. And so I did that in a couple different places and they have been fantastic. They are sending me a new tree. I think it's going to ship in another month or so. And so I'm very grateful for that. But that is why I buy from Stark, because they are so amazing with their customer service, and I get no kickback from Stark to say that. I just really believe in their company, and I've had such great success with their products. So these are apple, peach. The two peach trees look fantastic, like really amazing. Oh, and cherry. We've got cherry, apple, and peach here. And then at home, at our home in buckets, I have fig, pear, and persimmon, and we've got actually a couple of persimmon here in the ground too. So that's the goal for the orchard this year, and then next year in 2024, hopefully we can get the chickens and build a coop. But I need to focus on this year first. I think that's it. I'm really glad I came out and showed you all this today and kind of walked through it for myself too. But yeah, a lot of goals, a lot of intentions being set for 2023. And I'm going to take you along for the ride because, again, it gives me joy to share our journey. And it's not just because I want to share it, it's because I want to inspire you. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you have 1 acre, 100 acres, or a 500 square foot apartment. Homesteading is a frame of mind. It's not about where you are. It's about self-reliance, self-sufficiency. I started homesteading in an apartment. I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time, but that's where I learned to can. That's where I learned to really just cook, make homemade meals and not eat out. That's where I learned to grow herbs on a balcony. I mean, there's so many things you can do with where you are. Don't think that you are limited because of where you are right now. Any limits you think you have are set here and not here. So I just urge you to expand your own thinking and create your own goals and set your own intentions for the year. Thanks for joining me today. I know this video is a little bit different. I hope it resonated with you. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.